Good afternoon, dear friends. Let's continue with the fifth stanza of the poem The Last Ride Together by Robert Browning. Now, we already completed four stanzas of this poem, and now we are moving towards that aspect of the poem, the philosophical aspect, where Robert Browning delves deep into the psyche of human nature or the failure that a human being achieves and how the person can remain positive amidst setback. Now, the fifth stanza says it begins with the question, "Fail I alone in words and deeds? Why, all men strive, and who succeeds?" We wrote, "It seemed my spirit flew, saw other regions, cities new. As the world rushed by on either side, I thought, all labor, yet no less, bear up beneath their unsuccess. Look at end of work, contrast the petty done, the undone vast. This present of theirs with the hopeful past. I hoped she would love me, here we write." So now let's see what happens in the fifth stanza. Here, the lover tries to collect the consolation from the fact that he alone has not failed completely. Everywhere there is the same story, that is, of great desire and negligible achievements. The lover here is the mouthpiece of the poet when he utters that is he the only one to fail in his words and deeds? All men try, all men work hard, all men strive, but only a few succeed in their efforts and their endeavors. As the lover rode with his beloved in ecstasy of his realization, the whole world swept past him, a magnificent spectacle seen from the heights of the monumental passion, and he seemed to feel as if the entire world spun around him. All men work hard, all men toil, yet at the same time they all carry lightly some burdens of their failures. So here, Browning wants to say that if we once turn up our attention to the small success that comes after heavy work, we will be able to contrast the little done that the man has been able to achieve with the vastness that he has not achieved. Hence, they had formed large hopes in the past, but they attained only a small success, a tiny petty success in the present. So now, the lover here says that he only hoped that she would love him, and here she is actually riding with him. So, lover here says that he therefore gained. It might be for a moment. So, the gain could be just for a tiny moment, for a petty moment, for a very little time. Yet, it might be actually a most profitable and gainful experience for him, but have actually gained what he had hoped for. So the lover doesn't find himself at a loss. He doesn't feel that he has lost anything. He is very happy with the present condition. Let's move to the sixth stanza. Again, we have ample of questions. Robert Browning here begins the stanza with multiple questions about what exactly has been the condition of different men who strived all through their life, and what did they get in the end. What hand and brain went ever paired? What heart alike conceived and dared? What act proved all its thought had been? What will but felt the fleshy screen? We ride and I see her bosom heave. There's many a crown for who can reach. 10 lines a statement's life in each. The flag stuck on a heap of bones. A soldier's doing water tones? They scratch his name on the abbey stones. My riding is better by the leave. So see what a beautiful comparison here is making with the rest of the people who strived all their life, and what did they get in the end. Ideals are never completely fulfilled. Man seldom achieves what he desires. This is what Browning personally feels. The great statesman or a general, for all his deeds, is dismissed with only an epitaph. Now here the philosophy of Robert Browning is exhibited, where he wishes to question the lot of humanity. He posed the question, did ever the hand carry out all that the brain conceived? Did ever man venture to do all that his heart desires? Is there any deed which is really equal to the desire? There is no single soul who ever felt that his mind is limited by his body. Now the lover here enjoys his ride and shares a thrill of the emotion that sweeps through his beloved, and it provides him exquisite pleasure. That pleasure is all sufficient, self complete, and here Browning always insists on the self sufficiency of an emotional experience because that alone comes nearest to complete achievement. Against the background of this disparity between desire and fulfillment, now here Browning tells us that there is a huge disparity between desire and the fulfillment of this desire. He can boast of a real achievement, that he is riding his beloved. Now, in this case, at least his desire has been fulfilled. No matter he aspired for more or even little, then through illustrations of various people he justifies his present status. He says, a statesman, after all the hard work and the chivalry that he does, he receives a few lines of praise on his epitaph. The only reward he gets after he sacrifices his entire life for his nation. A soldier plants his flag on victory even over the dead bodies of the enemy. What reward does he get for this achievement? They inscribe on the epitaph of his tomb in Westminster Abbey. The idea here is that with all their achievements, it is a precious little that they get in return. The lover here feels that he also might not have got all that he desires, but at least the reward that he's got the last ride together is far, far better than what he could ever get. So here, Robert Browning presents an entire contrast between the futility of the uncommon man and the woman's blessedness of a common man like the lover. So we can say that Robert Browning was an extremely optimistic and a positive poet because he could bring out hopefulness in the midst of despair, and that is a unique quality and achievement of the poetry The Last Ride Together. We'll continue with the poem in the next class. Thank you.